Hello, this is Mr. Escher, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about starting Chapter 3 today. I placed a couple announcements here in the stream, and we can take a look at them right before we begin explaining Chapter 3. But the first one was just some information. I'll read it to you about the midterm. It says the midterm or mandatory meeting 2 for ICT Online is scheduled for Monday, June 26th and Tuesday, June 27th in room 455 or 454, which was the rooms that we did the orientations in, the first mandatory meeting. Those are located to the left of the DBHS library if you're facing it before you would go into the doors. And there's going to be an AM session and a PM session. The AM session is going to be at 11 a.m. in the morning, and the PM session is going to be at 1 p.m. So that would give students, if they are taking summer school, an opportunity to take it afterwards. So sometime next week, I'm going to send out a roster in which are the time slots that I'd like you guys to attend. Because the reason is that if everybody was to attend the same exact session, there just wouldn't be enough computers for everybody to sit down. I'd like it if you guys could make the session that I assign you to. If you cannot, there will obviously, if everybody's equally distributed throughout the class, each session will have a few open seats. So if you do need to flip-flop to a different time, that would be perfectly fine, and we'll work things out at that point. If you're wondering a little bit, as I send you more information about the midterm, it's primarily going to be a multiple choice or a true-false type question that's going to be taken on the computer. It's going to be about vocabulary. It's going to be about certain terms and concepts that were covered in chapters 1 through 4 of the textbook. So I'll talk to you guys more about that next week. Another item that I did post here, and I did also send you guys an email about both of these things, was the Google Classroom. When we are submitting assignments on the Google Classroom, we're probably noticing that our assignments, when we preview them, are not looking like they did when we save them in Word. Well, that's just kind of like the difference between Google and Word. So what's ending up happening is Google wants to give us a preview, but Google does not have all the same capabilities within their preview window for us to view everything that we've had formatted of all those features in Word. So it's going to look different, and it's going to look like nothing's going to show up or you have the wrong file. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. I'll show you a look at this real quick. Hopefully one of this student, Christian, doesn't mind us taking a look at how his assignment looked when he submitted it. So right here, this is how Christian's math quiz looked when he submitted. You guys can see that it's blank. If I'm going to go over here, and if I'm going to download it and open it up in Word, you can see that it's now downloaded. I open it up in Word, and his equations have now appeared. So everything's fine. Don't worry about it. You will not get marked off any points. There's no reason to send me an email. I just wanted to show you guys that on this video. Alright, so getting back to Chapter 3. So once Chapter 3 appears, you guys are going to see that it's called Formatting Documents. We're continuing on with Microsoft Word, and you're going to start with a document that's called Training, and it is probably the largest assignment that you've worked on to this point. 6 parts of it. It starts on page 77. There will be a couple files that you're going to be working with that are attached to the assignment. The first one obviously is going to be the data file that's going to have all of the information. I think it's about a 2 to 3 page document once everything gets formatted on it. And you'll probably want to watch the video tutorial on this one. It will have a few tricky steps. A lot of you guys might have been thinking at this point that you knew everything that you needed to know about Microsoft Word to get by, but you're going to start to see that there is some additional formatting that will be helpful that you guys know. The next one is generic memo. I highly recommend you guys watch a video tutorial on that one as well. There is some tricky parts to it in which you guys are accessing a template. Some of you guys might have chose to use a template in the last chapter when you guys were working on the flyer. Just a few intricacies of it. You're creating yourself your own template. It should show up in the template gallery. You'll open it up and then you'll write a memo. The next assignment is called the Contini Picnic, and this assignment is a very simple assignment. You're putting a graphic on a page, and then you're going to end up saving this as an HTML page, a web page, something that could be displayed on the internet in a browser. So this is a different type of file that you will submit. It's going to be the first time that you're submitting something different than a Word document. So when it saves, just save me the file. You'll see the icon that'll look like whatever your default internet browser is. It could be an Internet Explorer logo, it could be a Chrome, a Safari logo, just whatever that file is, you can submit that. You guys have your review questions, and then you'll get into the exercise. Welcome will be students typically don't have trouble with that one. There is a graphic that you'll have to insert in up at the top. You're adjusting some margins, you're doing some changes to the tabs, but I think you'll be all right with welcome. Vitamins is listing some information. You guys are putting tabs and indents within lining things up within columns and rows. Same thing with U.S. presidents. There'll be a data file for U.S. presidents, exercise 5. You're just going to click some tab stops up there at the top on the ruler, and that will help you align everything up on this page for U.S. presidents. And I do think that you end up saving U.S. presidents as an HTML file at the end of that. And finally, the basic resume, exercise 12 at the end. So in this case, sometimes it can be challenging for students to write a resume, but since you haven't had any prior experience, but it is kind of good experience just for you guys to write one. A lot of times resumes have a statement up at the top called the objective, which is what you would be interested in doing for a career. Then you list like your experience with school and with working, and you list skills. So I want you guys to try to find anything on there that you feel will be beneficial for you to create this basic resume. It's also something that you could use a template. So hopefully that covers everything that we've encountered up to this point in this class, and this video will be helpful for when Chapter 3 assignments are now activated.